Hey listeners, we're bringing you something special this week. We all know one true crime podcast is never enough, so we wanted to encourage you to check out a new podcast from our friends at ABC Audio called The Crime Scene Weekly. The Crime Scene Weekly is your guide to all the latest headlines in crime. Each week, ABC News correspondent Brad Mielke sits down with the journalists covering the cases who have direct access to survivors, investigators, and families searching for answers. From the discovery of grisly new cases to breakthroughs in cases we just can't stop thinking about, you'll hear the latest developments and the larger context from the people who know these stories best. This is true crime in real time, revealing what's happening now and what happens next. In the latest episode, Brad sits down with ABC News reporter Matt Gutman about the resentencing effort in the 35-year-old case of the Menendez brothers, Erik and Lyle Menendez, who were charged with the murder of their parents in 1989. You'll hear how social stigmas about masculinity and power factored into the original sentencing of the case and get insights into the brothers' present-day fight for their freedom. Keep listening to hear the first few minutes of the episode. If you like it, find The Crime Scene Weekly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts to hear the rest. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Now here's the clip.
35 years after the gruesome double murder that gripped the nation, the Menendez brothers are back in the spotlight and fighting for their freedom. But it's not just what you know, it's who you know and who you can get on your side. Over the last couple weeks, that's all changing. Welcome to The Crime Scene. I'm Brad Mielke. I host ABC's daily news podcast, Start Here. And every week, we're bringing you the latest on what's big and what's new in the true crime scene. This week, we're talking to ABC Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman, who's based in L.A. and has been following this case for years. He's with us now. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Brad.
Before we get into the recent news, I just want to revisit some important details here, because I grew up in Southern California, Matt. Like, I grew up on the O.J. trial, the Tupac killing, and yet this still remains one of the most infamous double murders of its day. So Lyle and Erik Menendez, 18 and 21, gunned down and killed their parents, Jose Menendez and Kitty Menendez, in Beverly Hills. That's not in dispute, right? They were convicted of murdering their parents. Can you take us back to that time? What was life like for this family?
We're talking about Kitty and Jose Menendez. And Jose Menendez was really a star in the entertainment world, right? He's involved in music producing. He has become a millionaire. He has single-handedly raised his family and all of his extended family up. This is an American success story, right? Basically came from Cuba. They were virtually penniless, and now he is living in a multi-million-dollar Beverly Hills mansion. He's got these two kids, Erik and Lyle, chiseled faces, forearms muscled and veined from tennis and sports, and they're just like poster children of Beverly Hills kids, you know, with these mops of thick, dark hair. You know, they look the part. But obviously something went very, very wrong. And on this hot August 20th night, 1989, Kitty and Jose are gunned down. And not just gunned down. This is like brutal, nasty, visceral, up-close murder. Shotgun blasts to the kneecaps, to the back of the head on Jose. The mother is crawling at some point. She's shotgunned. They actually had to reload the shotguns, whoever the assailants were. And it was so gruesome that police didn't quite know what to make of it initially, especially because Erik and Lyle Menendez, as you mentioned, 18 and 21 at the time, were like, hey, it's not us. There were intruders. And then the different stories started to come out. And they never quite made sense. And then in March of 1990, police pretty much started to piece together what was going on. They arrested Erik and Lyle, and they understood that these two young men had premeditated this murder. They had planned to murder their parents. They had purchased shotguns. They had driven down to near San Diego to buy them. They had shotgunned their parents. They had reloaded at some point. It was face-to-face and intimate. This was a killing that involved a tremendous amount of personal hatred.
And so in 1993, their trials began. I think they were tried separately at the time, right? They both pleaded not guilty. What was the claim they were making?
Right, Brad. They are now saying that they murdered their parents because they had to, because of self-defense, because they were afraid of their father. And this unspools something else that was also completely novel and really sort of earth-shattering. There was now open talk in court and in the public about these two now young men being sexually abused by their father, Brad.
Well, and speaking of this moment, this was also the beginning of cameras in courtrooms, as we now know them. And there's footage from this trial that ABC has. And in fact, here's a clip of Lyle Menendez on the stand talking about what, again, at this moment was sort of earth-shattering for us to hear. So let's listen to that.
That was a clip from the Crime Scene Weekly. To hear the rest of the episode, including real courtroom audio obtained by ABC News, find the Crime Scene Weekly wherever you get your podcasts.